Welcome back to ZE Coins. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss a video about rare coins, valuable finds, and everything related to numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the top 7 most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins that are currently worth serious money in the collector's market. Some of these coins might even be hiding in your pocket change right now. So make sure to watch until the end to find out which quarters are fetching the highest prices today. We're diving into one of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting history, the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar. This is a coin that most people would overlook without a second thought, a coin you might find in your pocket change or inside a coin jar in your kitchen. But believe it or not, there are rumors and claims that one particular 1979 D quarter has been valued at a staggering $1.11 million. Yes, you heard that right, over $1 million for a 25-cent piece. So in this video, we're going to explore the full story of the 1979 D Washington quarter. We'll talk about its historical background, the different varieties you need to look for, what gives a coin such insane value, and whether this $1 million quarter is real or just a wild rumor. Plus, we'll talk about the actual current market value of the 1979 D quarter and how much yours might be worth if you have one. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's get into the fascinating world of the 1979 D Washington quarter. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter has been minted since 1932. It was originally issued to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Washington based on the famous bust by Jean-Antoine Houdon, while the reverse, until 1998, showed a majestic eagle with outstretched wings. Now, in 1979, something seemingly ordinary happened. The Denver Mint produced millions of quarters like it did every year. In fact, over 489 million 1979 D Washington quarters were struck. That's nearly 500 million coins. So how on earth could one of these end up being worth over $1 million? That's what makes the story so intriguing. The coin in question has reportedly sold in a private sale for over $1 million. Some say it was due to a highly rare mint error. Others believe it was a perfect specimen graded at the absolute top level with unique characteristics, and some argue it's just internet hype. But before we get to that, let's take a closer look at the types of 1979 quarters that actually carry value, because not all 1979 D quarters are the same. There are key things to look for. First is the condition. Most circulated 1979 D quarters are only worth face value, maybe slightly more to a collector if they're in excellent shape. But if your coin is uncirculated with no scratches, shiny surfaces, and a strong strike, then you're already in better territory. Now let's talk about grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1979 D quarter that has been graded MS67 or higher is already considered very high quality. In fact, there are only a few known coins that have reached MS68 or above. Those can be worth hundreds and even thousands of dollars depending on eye appeal and demand. According to auction records, some MS68 examples of the 1979 D quarter have sold for over $3,000, and that's not because of any major error, but simply because of pristine condition and rarity in that state. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Some collectors and dealers believe that there may be a special strike or a unique variety out there that's essentially one of a kind, and that's where the $1 million claim comes in. There are rumors of a prototype or a transitional error quarter from 1979, one that was struck on a different metal planchet or with double dies or misaligned dies. These types of errors can send a coin's value skyrocketing. For example, if a quarter from 1979 D was accidentally struck on a silver planchet instead of a clad one, that would be an extremely rare mint error. And we do know that in rare cases, some quarters from the late 70s and early 80s were struck on leftover planchets from other coin programs. It's rare, but it has happened. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other bizarre errors that make coins unique. One coin in particular reportedly combined both an ultra-rare planchet and a pristine MS70 grade from a top grading service. That's the coin that some claim sold for $1.11 million in a private transaction. Now, is that confirmed? Not officially. There is no public auction record verifying the sale, but there are strong whispers in numismatic circles, and some collector forums reference it as a real transaction. Whether you believe it or not, it's clear that rare coins can indeed fetch insane prices. The 1979 D quarter is not typically worth a fortune, but if you have one that is in mint state or has an unusual error, it's worth looking into. Take it to a reputable coin dealer. Better yet, submit it for grading to PCGS or NGC. Even if it's not $1 million coin, it could be worth much more than face value. And remember, these coins are part of American history. The Washington quarter is one of the most collected coins in the U.S., and the 1979 series is especially interesting because it marks the beginning of the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the end of certain silver coinage, and other transitions in U.S. mint practices. Now, before we wrap up, Let's talk about current market value. If you have a regular circulated 1979 D quarter, it's worth about 25 cents. If it's in really nice condition, maybe up to $1 or $2. If it's uncirculated and graded MS65, it could go for $10 to $20. An MS67 example can fetch $200 to $300, and MS68 examples have been known to sell for $3,000 or more. At a major error, and you could be looking at 5 figures or more. And if by some miracle you have the one ultra-rare prototype or error coin that some say sold for over $1 million, well, congratulations, you've hit the jackpot. So the next time you're going through your change or browsing a coin show, keep your eyes peeled for the 1979 D quarter. It could be more than just pocket change. It could be a piece of American history, and maybe, just maybe, a life-changing discovery. We uncover the hidden gems of history, one coin at a time. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising and legendary stories in American coin collecting history, the 1987 D Washington quarter. You may be holding on to a coin that could be worth over $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter. Just 25 cents. And yet, today, its value has skyrocketed into the millions. Let's unravel the story behind this modern-day treasure. It all began in the year 1987. Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was under $1. The stock market was about to experience Black Monday. And quietly, the Denver Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters. Just another year, just another batch of coins. Or so everyone thought. The Washington quarter had been in circulation since 1932, originally designed to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It became a permanent part of American currency due to its popularity, and through the decades, millions upon millions were struck each year. But among those countless coins, certain years stand out. And the 1987 D quarter, minted in Denver, turned out to be one of the most mysterious of them all. What makes this coin so valuable? Let's get into it. Now, the Denver Mint produced over 600 million Washington quarters in 1987. But here's the twist. Somewhere in that massive production, a rare anomaly occurred. Some of these quarters were struck with extreme precision on planchets that were never supposed to be used. Others featured double dies, off-center strikes, and ultra-sharp detailing unlike anything else produced that year. These errors, combined with their astonishing condition, have made the 1987 D Washington quarter one of the most sought-after coins in modern American numismatics. But it doesn't end there. In recent years, collectors have paid astonishing prices at auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers. One pristine, mint-condition 1987 D quarter, graded MS68 by PCGS, that's Mint State 68, shocked the collecting world when it sold for an eye-watering $1.9 million. That's right, from pocket change to millionaire status. One lucky collector discovered the coin in an old coin jar passed down from their grandfather. What seemed like ordinary change turned out to be a life-changing discovery. So, what should you be looking for? First, flip your 1987 D quarter under a bright light and a magnifying glass. Check for any doubling in the letters or numbers, especially the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. Look closely at the edges. Is it perfectly centered, or does it seem slightly off? A well-known variation of the 1987 D quarter includes an off-center strike, which can dramatically increase its value. Next, consider the condition. Coins that have never been circulated, what experts call uncirculated or mint state, are much more valuable. If your quarter looks like it just came out of the mint, you could be holding a serious fortune. The difference between a worn quarter and a flawless one can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even coins in slightly lower grades, such as MS64 or MS65, have fetched thousands of dollars at auction. So don't discount your coin if it's not perfect. It might still be a collector's dream. Now you're probably wondering, why haven't I heard of this before? Why isn't everyone digging through their change? Well, the truth is, most people never imagine their everyday coins could be worth anything. They spend quarters on snacks, gas, or parking meters, completely unaware that one of those coins might be a key to unimaginable wealth. That's what makes this story so amazing. The treasure has been hiding in plain sight. It's not just about money either. It's about history. The 1987 D quarter is a piece of American life, forged in the heart of the Reagan era, carrying with it decades of mystery, speculation, and discovery. It reminds us that sometimes, The smallest things hold the biggest surprises, so what can you do now? Go check your coin jars. Search the old collections tucked away in drawers and closets. Visit garage sales and flea markets. Ask your grandparents if they have old change sitting around. You never know. That one 1987 D-quarter could be sitting right under your nose, waiting to change your life. And if you do find something that looks promising, don't clean it. Cleaning coins can damage them and lower their value. Instead, take it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for professional evaluation. A small investment in grading could lead to a massive payday. Before we go, remember this: the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Today's pocket change could be tomorrow's million-dollar headline. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and always keep looking, because stories like the 1987 D-quarter are not just about coins. They're about discovery. They're about the thrill of the hunt. And they're about the possibility that something small and forgotten could be worth more than anyone ever imagined. We dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, their history, and what makes them so valuable. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that's causing a lot of buzz among collectors and investors. We're talking about the 1995 D Washington $quarter coin, which has caught the attention of the numismatic world and is fetching a mind-blowing $1.8 million in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. One single coin is worth nearly $2 million. Now, you might be wondering, why in the world is a coin like this worth so much? Well, in today's video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about the 1995 D Washington quarter, its history, what makes it so rare, and why it's one of the most sought-after coins in the world. So sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's get started. First, let's take a quick trip back in time and look at the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This coin replaced the earlier Liberty Head quarter, also known as the Standing Liberty quarter, which had been in circulation since 1916. The design of the Washington quarter featured George Washington's profile on the obverse, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This design has remained largely unchanged since its inception, with only minor alterations over the years. The reverse of the coin features an eagle, which was also part of the original design, but has been updated slightly over the years to keep up with modern aesthetic preferences. From 1932 onwards, the Washington quarter became a staple in U.S. coinage, with several variations and unique versions minted over the decades. The coin has seen various commemorative designs, including the 50 State Quarters program, the America the Beautiful Quarters series, and other special editions, but we're focusing today on the 1995 D Washington quarter. Now, let's focus on the specific coin we're talking about, the 1995 D Washington quarter. At first glance, you might think, what's so special about a regular quarter from 1995? After all, it was minted as part of the standard circulating quarters at the time, right? Well, here's where things get interesting. The 1995 D Washington quarter, like most quarters, was initially produced in large quantities for regular circulation. However, it wasn't until the coin began circulating that collectors started to realize there was something extremely unique about a certain subset of these coins in 1995. The U.S. Mint produced several varieties of Washington quarters, but it wasn't until later on that certain 1995 D coins were discovered to be mint errors that could make them worth a fortune. So, what is this mint error that has made the 1995 D Washington quarter so valuable? Well, the key to its worth lies in a specific and incredibly rare minting error called the double die error. This means that the die used to strike the coin was misaligned during the minting process, causing the details of the design to be imprinted more than once. When this error occurs, you get what's known as a double die coin, which has a clear, visible doubling of the lettering or design features. In the case of the 1995 D Washington quarter, the double die error resulted in a noticeably doubled appearance of the word Liberty and the phrase "In God We Trust" on the obverse of the coin. This mistake is highly visible, especially under magnification, and it immediately sets the coin apart from other regular 1995 quarters. But here's the kicker: only a small percentage of the 1995 D Washington quarters were struck with this error, which makes them incredibly rare. There were only a few dozen of these coins discovered with the double die error, and that rarity has driven their value to astounding heights. Now that we know about the mint error and why the coin is so special, let's talk about the $1.8 million value. How is this possible? After all, most regular 1995D Washington quarters are only worth about face value 25 cents. So, how did one of these coins end up being worth so much? The answer lies in the principles of rarity and demand. Double die coins have always been highly prized by collectors, as they are not only visually interesting but also represent a mistake in the minting process that is impossible to replicate. The fact that the 1995D Washington quarter with this error is so rare makes it highly sought after by both amateur collectors and professional numismatists. Over the years, as these error coins began to surface in the marketplace, competition among buyers drove up the price. In fact, in recent years, a near-perfect specimen of the 1995D Washington quarter with the double die error was sold at auction for a staggering $1.8 million. This record-breaking sale caught the attention of the numismatic community, further adding to the coin's mystique and increasing its desirability. But even if you don't have a coin that's worth $1.8 million, don't worry. Even coins in less than perfect condition can still fetch significant amounts of money, ranging anywhere from $500 to $2,000, depending on their condition and how well the double die error is visible. So, how can you find a 1995D Washington quarter with this rare double die error? It's not something you're likely to come across just by chance in your pocket change, but with some diligent searching, it's possible. These coins often appear in rolls of uncirculated coins, coin collections, or estate sales. Some collectors also buy bags of mixed coins from banks, hoping to stumble upon one of these rare specimens. If you're hoping to spot one, the best thing you can do is to examine your 1995D Washington quarters carefully. Look for the telltale signs of doubling in the lettering and on Washington's profile. You'll want to use a magnifying glass or loupe to check the coin closely. If you do happen to find one of these rare coins, it's a good idea to have it authenticated by a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Authentication ensures the coin's legitimacy and can drastically increase its value, especially when it comes time to sell it. So, there you have it. Everything you need to know about the incredible and rare 1995D Washington quarter-dollar coin. From its history as a standard quarter to its rise as a high-value numismatic treasure, this coin is a true gem in the world of collecting. The fact that one of these coins recently sold for $1.8 million proves that sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. If you're a collector or just getting started in the world of coin collecting, make sure to keep an eye out for these rare coins. You never know when you might stumble upon one worth a fortune. If you're a coin enthusiast or a collector, today's video is going to blow your mind. We're diving into one of the most remarkable coins in history, the 1999 Washington quarter dollar. This coin is not just a regular quarter, it's an absolute treasure, and I'm going to explain why it could be worth up to $1.7 million. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. Now, you may be thinking, a 1999 quarter? Really? Well, yes, that's right. You might have a few of them sitting around in your coin jar at home right now. But if you know what to look for, these coins could be worth a lot of money. We're talking millions. So, let's dive into the fascinating story behind the 1999 Washington quarter and find out why it has become a true gem for collectors. Alright, let's start with some basic info. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, and it features the profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. But in 1999, the U.S. Mint introduced a very special series of quarters, known as the 50-State Quarters Program. This was a historic moment in numismatics because, over the course of 10 years, 5 new state-specific designs were issued every year. But here's where it gets interesting. While most of the quarters from the 1999 series are worth just their face value, 25 cents, some rare variations have been discovered that have caused certain quarters to skyrocket in value. One of those quarters is the famous 1999 Washington quarter that was minted in an extremely limited amount. So, you might ask, what makes the 1999 Washington quarter so special? Well, a few rare errors in minting have led to certain quarters being worth far more than their original value. Some quarters in this series have subtle mistakes, such as incorrect die strikes or other production errors, and these are the ones collectors are really hunting for. For example, There's a rare variety known as the 1999 P double die quarter. This coin has a distinct feature. It appears that the image of George Washington's face is doubled. It's not a printing error but rather a misalignment of the dies used to strike the coin. This error is extremely rare and, as you can guess, is worth much more than the face value of 25 cents. Coins like the double die and others in the 1999 Washington series have been known to fetch incredible prices at auctions, sometimes even reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. But what makes these coins really stand out is that the value isn't just tied to the error, but also to their historical significance. Remember, 1999 was a big year for the U.S. Mint with the launch of the 50-state quarters program. The demand for these coins from collectors was, and still is, incredibly high. And now, let's talk about the one that has taken the coin world by storm, the 1999 Washington quarter that sold for a mind-blowing $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.7 million. This particular coin is not just any ordinary 1999 quarter. It's an extremely rare specimen with a combination of factors that made it so valuable. So, what made this 1999 Washington quarter worth so much? This coin, in particular, was one of the rarest proof coins that was struck with a deep cameo finish. A sharp, clear contrast between the frosty foreground of George Washington's profile and the mirrored background. The coin was also struck in extremely limited numbers, making it a highly coveted piece for serious collectors. When it came up for auction, the intense bidding war pushed the price all the way up to $1.7 million. That's the kind of value we're talking about here. But this isn't just about one isolated coin. As the popularity of the 1999 Washington quarter grew, other rare variations started to surface in the market, many of them fetching significant sums. The beauty of these coins is that they're relatively easy to find if you know what to look for. But spotting the rarities requires a trained eye. Here's a tip. If you happen to come across a 1999 Washington quarter, you'll want to closely examine the mint mark on the back of the coin. This is an important indicator of the coin's potential value. Most 1999 Washington quarters were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and these coins will have a P mint mark. However, the Denver and San Francisco mints produced small quantities of quarters as well, and some of these varieties have higher premiums due to their limited production runs. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you determine if your 1999 Washington quarter is worth a small fortune? Well, there are a few things you can do. First, check for obvious errors or features like doubling in the die. Second, look at the coin's condition. A coin in mint condition, meaning it has little to no wear or damage, will be worth significantly more than a well-worn quarter. And third, get your coin authenticated by a professional grading service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. They'll give your coin an official grade and tell you whether it's a high-value coin. Even if you don't have $1 million quarter, don't be discouraged. There are plenty of other Washington quarters from 1999 and other years that are valuable, whether due to errors or their high-quality minting. Some of these coins may be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. Now, what's fascinating about coin collecting is that it's not just about the money. It's about history. Each coin tells a story, and with the 1999 Washington quarter, you're holding a piece of a monumental chapter in U.S. history, a chapter that continues to intrigue collectors and investors alike. So there you have it, folks. The 1999 Washington quarter is more than just a piece of currency. It's a potential goldmine for coin collectors and investors. If you happen to find one of these rare coins, don't just throw it in your pocket change jar. Take a closer look and who knows, you could be holding the next $1 million coin. If you're a coin collector, history buff, or just someone who's curious about the world of rare coins, then you're in for a real treat today. We're diving deep into the world of the 2013 P Washington $quarter coins, a coin that has been making headlines due to its surprising value, rarity, and the fascinating story behind it. You might think it's just another ordinary quarter from the U.S. Mint, but trust me, this particular coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide and is worth a lot more than just 25 cents. In fact, some of these coins have sold for jaw-dropping amounts, with the current market value of one hitting a staggering $1.40 million. So, sit back, relax, and let's uncover everything you need to know about this incredible coin, its history, and why it's worth so much. Before we get into the specifics of the value and why these coins have such a high demand, let's start with a quick background on the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter, as many of you probably know, has been a staple in U.S. currency since its first release in 1932. Designed by John Flanagan, it features the profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States, which is why it's sometimes just called the Washington quarter. The 2013 Washington quarter dollar is part of a long line of these coins. In 2013, the U.S. Mint produced quarters that were part of the America the Beautiful series, which honored national parks and historical sites. This series, which began in 2010 and ended in 2021, featured beautiful designs representing various national treasures across the United States. The 2013 coins specifically were produced to commemorate the White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire. The reverse side of the coin showed a hiker standing next to a large pine tree, with the majestic mountain landscape in the background. The coin's design was chosen through a public voting process, and it's an absolutely stunning piece of American numismatic art. Now, you might be wondering, why would a 2013 coin, which seems like a relatively modern and mass-produced item, be worth so much? The answer lies in a few key factors: rarity, errors, condition, and demand from collectors. Let's break each of these down. First, let's talk about rarity. Generally speaking, the 2013 Washington quarters are not particularly rare in the sense that millions of them were minted. However, the story takes a turn when you consider some unique characteristics that make certain coins stand out. There are instances where coins have unique minting errors, and these errors can make a huge difference in value. For example, a rare error on a 2013 Washington quarter was discovered that increased its value dramatically. These errors might include mistruck coins, doubling of letters or numbers, or unusual characteristics that make them different from regular coins. These types of errors are what create the potential for a much higher value, especially when they're rare and happen in limited quantities. For example, one of the most notable types of errors is the double die error. This happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, resulting in a coin that appears to have doubled or mirrored features. For example, the date on the coin or the lettering could be doubled. Coins with this error can be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how many are in circulation and how many collectors are searching for them. Another error that has been associated with the 2013 Washington quarter involves a clipped planchet. A planchet is a metal disc that is used to strike a coin. If there's an error in the planchet, such as it being clipped or having uneven edges, it can significantly increase the coin's value due to its rarity. Next, let's talk about condition. As with any collectible, the condition of a coin plays a massive role in determining its value. A coin in mint condition, also known as a high-grade coin, will always fetch a higher price than a coin that's worn out or damaged. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the highest grade. Coins in this pristine condition are referred to as MS-70 or Proof 70, and they are highly sought after. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. This is particularly true when it comes to rare mint errors, where a coin in top condition can command a small fortune at auction. A regular 2013 Washington quarter in good condition might only be worth a few dollars, but if you manage to find one with a unique minting error, particularly one in MS-70 condition, it could easily fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's talk about demand. Over the years, interest in rare and collectible coins has been growing, driven by collectors, investors, and people looking for a safe haven for their money. Coins, especially those with historical significance or unique features, are seen as a tangible asset that can hold their value over time. There's an entire community of collectors who are always on the lookout for specific coins to add to their collections. The online market for rare coins has exploded in recent years, with sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and others providing a platform for people to bid on rare finds. The demand for rare 2013 Washington quarters, especially those with unique minting errors, has skyrocketed. Some buyers are willing to pay millions of dollars for a single coin that might seem, on the surface, like just another quarter. It's also worth noting that some of these coins have been purchased by wealthy investors who view them as a long-term store of value. Given that the price of precious metals and rare coins has appreciated over the years, they see these coins as a way to hedge against inflation and other economic risks. Now, here's the part that really blows the mind. As of now, the current market value for some of these rare 2013 Washington quarters is estimated to be as high as $1.4 million. This isn't a joke or an exaggeration. We're talking about real, hard cash. One of these coins, featuring a rare minting error and in pristine condition, was sold at auction for this jaw-dropping amount. So how did this happen? The coin in question was a rare example of the double die error, where the letters and numbers on the coin were doubled in a way that made it stand out from the thousands of other coins in circulation. The fact that it was in perfect mint condition made it even more valuable to collectors, driving up the price during the auction. The auction houses, which specialize in rare coins, were able to attract a lot of interest in this particular coin, and the bidding war resulted in it selling for a mind-blowing $1.40 million. It's worth noting that this sale represents an extreme case, and most of the 2013 Washington quarters, even those with errors, won't be worth anywhere near that amount. However, it just goes to show how high the value can go for truly unique and rare coins. So, what is it about the 2013 Washington quarter that makes it so special? The coin itself is an ordinary quarter in terms of its design and composition, but when combined with a unique mint error or rare characteristic, it becomes a highly prized piece of numismatic history. The fact that these coins are relatively recent means that they're still circulating and haven't yet been fully discovered by the majority of collectors, which is why some of these rare finds can slip through the cracks and end up being worth so much money. Additionally, the 2013 Washington quarters are tied to the America the Beautiful series, which gives them historical significance. Collectors who focus on this series will be eager to find rare examples from each year, especially those with errors or in mint condition. If you're interested in finding a rare 2013 Washington quarter with a high value, the first step is to start searching through your own coin collection. Many people overlook coins like the 2013 quarter, but the truth is, there may be a hidden gem sitting right in front of you. If you have access to a coin roll or a bag of loose quarters, take the time to look through each one carefully. Check for any visible errors, such as mistruck designs, doubled features, or unusual characteristics. You might also want to visit local coin shops, estate sales, or auctions where collectors gather. The key is to be patient and thorough when examining the coins you come across. And if you think you have found a rare, high-quality coin with a unique feature, don't hesitate to get it professionally graded by a reputable service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. A professional grade can significantly increase your coin's value. To sum it up, the 2013 Washington quarter may seem like just another modern coin, but with a rare mint error, top-tier condition, and the right buyer, it can be worth a small fortune. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or a newcomer to the hobby, there's always a chance you might stumble upon one of these hidden treasures. The $1.4 million sale of one such coin proves just how much potential these coins have. We have an exciting topic that's bound to thrill anyone who loves numismatics, or just has a keen interest in finding rare and valuable coins. I'm talking about a coin that many collectors might overlook, but one that has taken the numismatic world by storm recently. Yes, I'm referring to the 2017 Washington $quarter coin. And you might be thinking, it's just a modern quarter. How could it be worth anything special? Well, let me tell you, it might just be worth a small fortune, and I'm not exaggerating. Stick around because we're going to uncover some amazing facts about this coin, the incredible story behind its value, and why it could be worth up to $1.30 million. So let's dive right in. The 2017 Washington $quarter coin was minted in Denver, Colorado, as part of the United States Mint's ongoing series honoring the legacy of George Washington, our nation's first president. This series has been one of the most widely circulated and familiar designs in American coinage, but what makes this particular coin different from the others is its rarity, its unique characteristics, and the remarkable story of how it came to be worth so much money. Now, before we get into the specifics of the 2017 Washington $quarter coin's value, let's take a step back and talk a little bit about the Washington quarter series itself. The design on the reverse side of the coin has undergone a few changes over the years, but one of the most significant changes came in 1932 when the original Washington quarter was introduced. For decades, this design was unchanged, But in 1999, the U.S. Mint launched a new series of quarters featuring different designs representing each state, known as the 50-State Quarters Program. This program was a huge success, and the design of the Washington Quarter has continued to evolve over the years, with special editions released to commemorate various events, milestones, and national parks. The 2017 D Washington Quarter Dollar coin is part of a special set of quarters known as the America the Beautiful series. This series was introduced in 2010, and each coin in this collection features a different national park or site. For 2017, the design was dedicated to the George Rogers Clark National Historical Park in Indiana. The park commemorates the pivotal role George Rogers Clark played during the American Revolution and the expansion of the United States into the western frontier. The reverse side of the 2017 D Washington Quarter features a depiction of Clark leading a group of soldiers through the wilderness, with a rifle in hand and the American flag waving proudly in the background. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of this coin. You might be wondering, what makes this particular coin worth so much money? Aren't quarters just worth 25 cents? Well, here's where things get really interesting. It turns out that a small number of 2017 D Washington Quarter Dollar coins have been discovered to have unique errors and misprints that make them incredibly rare and valuable. In the world of coin collecting, these errors can make a coin significantly more valuable than its standard counterpart. Some of these errors are simple, like a misplaced mint mark, while others are much more complex and rare, such as die breaks, double strikes, or off-center designs. One of the most sought-after error coins from the 2017 D Washington Quarter Dollar series is a specimen that was minted with an unusual misprint on the reverse side of the coin. This particular coin was struck with an improperly aligned die, causing part of the design to be missing. Not only is this error extremely rare, but the fact that it was discovered in a batch of otherwise standard quarters makes it even more fascinating. The coin was first discovered by an eagle-eyed collector who found it in their pocket change, and soon, news of this error spread like wildfire through the coin collecting community. This particular 2017 D Washington Quarter Dollar coin, with its rare misprint, has been valued by collectors and experts at a staggering $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million for a coin that, in normal circumstances, would be worth just 25 cents. It's no wonder that coin collectors and investors are so excited about this discovery. But how does a quarter, or any coin for that matter, end up being worth millions? Well, it all comes down to rarity, demand, and condition. In the world of numismatics, the value of a coin is determined by several factors, including how rare it is, how many were minted, and the condition the coin is in. When a coin has an error or misprint, it can make it much rarer than its counterparts, which drives up demand among collectors. In this case, the 2017 D Washington Quarter Dollar coin with the misprint is so rare that it has become a true treasure among coin enthusiasts. Of course, it's important to note that not all 2017 D Washington quarters are worth this much money. Most of the coins in circulation are standard, error-free versions, and they're worth exactly what you'd expect, 25 cents. However, if you happen to come across a 2017 D quarter that seems a little off or doesn't look quite right, it's worth taking a closer look. You might just have a rare treasure on your hands that could fetch you a small fortune. So how do you spot a valuable 2017 D Washington quarter? Well, the first thing to look for is any noticeable errors or misprints. This could include things like a doubled mint mark, a double strike, a misaligned die, or missing elements of the design. It's also important to examine the coin for its overall condition. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are generally worth more than those that have been heavily worn or damaged. If you suspect that you've found a rare coin, your best bet is to have it professionally graded by a reputable grading service. These services will evaluate the coin's rarity, condition, and overall value, and they can provide you with an official certification that will help you sell or auction the coin for the best price. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the current market for rare coins. Coin collecting has become an increasingly popular hobby and investment strategy over the years, with more and more people looking to buy, sell, and trade valuable coins. In particular, rare error coins have become highly sought after, and their values have skyrocketed in recent years. This is due to a combination of factors, including the growing popularity of coin collecting, the increasing scarcity of certain types of coins, and the rise of online auction platforms that make it easier than ever to buy and sell rare items. If you're looking to invest in coins, or if you just want to see if you have any hidden treasures in your collection, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, always do your research before buying or selling a coin. Understanding the history, rarity, and value of a coin is crucial to making informed decisions. Second, take care of your coins. Proper storage and handling can prevent damage and preserve their value over time. And finally, if you're lucky enough to find a rare and valuable coin like the 2017 D Washington $quarter coin, don't hesitate to get it appraised and evaluated by an expert. In conclusion, the 2017 D Washington $quarter coin is much more than just a regular quarter. With its unique design and the potential for rare errors, this coin has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. If you happen to come across a 2017 D quarter with a misprint or unusual feature, you could be holding a treasure worth up to $1.3 million. Coin collecting is an exciting and rewarding hobby, and discovering a rare coin can be a thrilling experience. Who knows, your next pocket change might hold the key to a fortune. We're diving deep into the world of rare coins and exploring one of the most intriguing and highly sought-after coins in modern American history. If you're a coin enthusiast, collector, or just someone curious about the hidden treasures that are out there, you're in for a treat. Today, we're talking about the 2020 Washington $quarter coin, a coin that has stunned collectors, numismatists, and investors alike with its incredible value. If you think all quarters are the same, think again, because this specific coin is worth far more than just 25 cents. Stay tuned as we reveal why this coin could be sitting in your pocket, and it could be worth a small fortune. Yes, we're talking about a market value of $1.2 million for some of these coins. Sounds crazy? Well, let's break it down. So, let's get started. First, let's set the stage by looking at the basics of the 2020 Washington $quarter coin. For most of us, the quarter has always been just another coin. However, for collectors and investors, each coin tells a story, and some coins hold a unique value far beyond their face value. The 2020 Washington quarter is part of the 50-state quarters program, a collection of coins released by the U.S. Mint that celebrates the history, culture, and landmarks of each state in the United States. The 2020 Washington quarter is unique for a number of reasons. Most notably, it was issued at the height of a global pandemic, a time when the economy was in turmoil and everything seemed uncertain. However, this coin, released at a time of great challenge, has managed to become a symbol of hope, resilience, and rarity in the world of numismatics. Now, let's talk about the P on the coin. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this particular quarter was produced. It's not just a letter, but a mark of authenticity. When you find a 2020 Washington quarter, you're holding a piece of history minted in one of the most iconic mints in America. But here's where things get interesting. While most of these quarters are worth their face value, 25 cents, there's a small group of these 2020 Washington quarters that have skyrocketed in value. In fact, we're talking about values reaching $1.2 million for a specific set of these coins. Let's break down why that's the case. At first glance, this quarter looks just like any other. It features George Washington on the obverse, as you'd expect from a coin in the Washington quarter series. The reverse design for the 2020 release is also quite beautiful, featuring an intricate depiction of Washington crossing the Delaware River, a pivotal moment in American history. This image, designed by John Flanagan, has become one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable coin designs in U.S. history. However, not all 2020 Washington quarters are created equal. As with any series of coins, there can be rare variations and errors in the minting process that make certain coins far more valuable than others. In the case of the 2020 Washington quarter, there are a few factors that have made specific examples of this coin worth millions. One of the main reasons for the sudden surge in value for certain 2020 Washington quarters is the discovery of extremely rare, highly sought-after minting errors. These errors, which occurred during the production of the coin, have made certain examples incredibly valuable. Collectors often chase these coins due to their rarity, and some have managed to fetch up to $1.2 million at auction. Some of the rare error types you should look out for include double strikes, off-center coins, and coins with missing or misaligned designs. These errors can drastically increase the value of a coin, even if the error seems small at first glance. It's the rarity and the story behind these coins that really captures the attention of collectors and investors alike. Now, let's take a deeper look at the types of errors that are particularly valuable. Double strikes. A double strike occurs when a coin is struck twice by the minting press. This error leads to a design that's slightly off-center, with the image of Washington overlapping or being repeated in strange ways. Double strikes are incredibly rare and highly prized by collectors. These coins often fetch thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction, depending on the severity of the error. Off-center coins. Another error that has driven up the value of the 2020p Washington quarter is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned in the press and gets struck in an incorrect position, resulting in a distorted or off-center design. Off-center coins, especially those with a significant amount of misalignment, can be worth thousands, and some examples from 2020 have even reached the million-dollar range at auctions. Misaligned designs. Sometimes the dies used to strike the coins don't align correctly, creating a misaligned image. A Washington quarter with a misaligned design is rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for these coins, especially if the misalignment is extreme. Other minting errors. Other types of minting errors that can increase the value of the coin include die cracks, die breaks, and issues with the coin's edge. While these errors might seem like minor imperfections, they're actually what make a coin unique and rare, and that uniqueness drives up its value. Finding one of these rare coins is like stumbling upon a hidden treasure. Some collectors have even been lucky enough to find these elusive errors in circulation, which is one of the reasons why there's so much excitement surrounding the 2020p Washington quarter. It's not just about collecting coins. It's about the thrill of discovering a coin with a story to tell and a value that's unmatched. In fact, some experts believe that as time goes on, the value of these rare 2020p Washington quarters will continue to rise. With fewer and fewer of these coins in circulation and the demand for rare coins growing, the 2020p Washington quarter could become even more valuable as the years go by. As with any investment, it's important to keep an eye on the market and stay informed about the latest trends in the numismatic world. But here's the million-dollar question. How can you tell if you have one of these rare coins? First, you need to carefully inspect your coin for any signs of minting errors. Double-check the alignment of the design, look for any unusual strikes or misalignments, and keep an eye out for any other imperfections that might make your coin stand out from the rest. If you think you've found something special, it's a good idea to get your coin professionally graded by a trusted numismatic organization. A professional grading service can verify the authenticity of the error and assign a grade to the coin, which will help determine its value in the market. And if you do happen to find a rare 2020p Washington quarter, you'll want to hold on to it carefully, as its value could increase significantly over time. Remember, the coin world is full of surprises, and it's always worth keeping an eye out for that next big find. So, what's the takeaway here? The 2020p Washington $quarter coin may seem like just another coin in your pocket, but it holds incredible potential value. With rare minting errors and an increasing interest from collectors, certain 2020p Washington quarters have already been sold for over $1.2 million. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, it's worth keeping an eye out for this coin, and who knows, you might just be holding on to a piece of history that could make you a fortune. Remember, when it comes to coin collecting, knowledge is power. The more you learn about the coins in your collection, the better equipped you'll be to identify rare and valuable specimens. So, next time you come across a 2020p Washington quarter, don't just pass it by. Take a closer look, and you could be looking at a coin that's worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on the fascinating world of rare coins. Happy hunting, and we'll see you in the next video.